Welcome to the Victory Project podcast, undoing hopelessness with a godly purpose, love, and accountability. Since 2009, we've believed it's less about what we do and more about what we undo through education, entrepreneurship, and enlightenment. You're here because you believe a city on a hill cannot be hidden. Let's shine that light. Let's build victory together.
Welcome to the Victory Project podcast. I'll be your host today. My name's Keyshawn, and I'm joined with two pretty smart young men that I'll introduce in a little bit. This is our 15th episode. Pretty awesome, right? But today we'll be talking a little bit more about what the students go through at VP. Most people, when they think about Victory Project, they normally just categorize it as just a nonprofit. But the truth is we're a lot more than that. So today we're going to go in depth on how to become a member. And I'm joined here with one of our leaders at the high school campus, Timothy. Tim, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. How about you, Mr. Keyshawn?
Can't complain. Tim actually has the record for the quickest game of Call of Duty to ever lose. So it's in the world record book holder that he's not very good, but we love him. And thanks for joining us.
Of course, of course.
And we're also joined with Antonio. How you doing?
Doing amazing, amazing being me,
Yeah. He's newer, so I won't roast him too hard. But it's a pleasure to have you on the podcast.
Thank you.
So we're going to kind of start with your first day. You guys can kind of rewind to your very first time walking in to Victory Project. What was it like? What was the process like? Do you guys remember anything?
Yeah, my first day, it was like, I didn't really know how to approach really anyone, honestly. And then, so my first day, I was pretty quiet. And then the second and third day, I started like trying to talk to people and, trying to start conversations and make friends. And then I forgot, I don't remember if it was Doug or Andrew, but I had said something and then it was just, we was friends, best friends from there, the rest is history.
Wow. Tim, what about you? Your very first time walking through those doors at Victory Project, what do you remember?
I was nervous. I didn't know anybody there. It was crazy. When I first walked in, it was more so eye-opening to see like there's more than one person who kind of conjugates around one path in life. And it's not directly pointed towards the streets or just modernity. So it was pretty cool. At first, I wasn't talking to anybody. I was convinced I wasn't going to make any friends. And I was more so trying to distance myself. And I wasn't open to talking to other people that I didn't know. But then I saw Shamar and Dominic. They were there because I had met them from school. They were so surprised to see me. It was kind of crazy. But day after day, I started making more and more progress. I just started talking to more and more people, getting my name around. Overall, just enjoying my time there.
And to put it in hindsight, these are two of the guys that we call them yappers because they just continue to talk. And like they were talking about they were being nervous and didn't know anybody. But now today they're just talking with everybody, the guests, the volunteers, every student that comes in, they know Tim, they know Antonio. Yeah, and then you guys talked about kind of how you guys grew to become have more friends at VP. But do you remember even before your first day? Because not everybody gets to actually have a start date. Do you remember what that tour and interview process was like?
Yeah, it was, at first, it was dread. It was complete dread. I was so unprepared. I thought it was going to be more stricter and more harsh, but it turned out to be a lot more comfortable than I was initially expecting. That pretty much just lifted a weight off my shoulders and told me like it's not gonna be bad with VP, Because at first I was just getting dragged out of bed, dragged out of my house, trying to chill out and just summer afternoon, just not do nothing, but nah.
And it was your first time, both of your guys' first time being interviewed. Have you guys ever been interviewed before that?
No.
Nice. Yeah. But we interview every student that comes by their very first time at Victory Project. We give an interview with some of the questions of like, what are their career goals and how are they going to be an asset? What do they bring to the table? What are some adjectives? Similarly to questions that would be in a job interview, right? some uncomfortable questions that take some self-reflecting. But if you've never been through it, it can be very challenging and uncomfortable. And then we also do a tour where we walk through with a parent and yeah, kind of get a feel of the rules. It's a little bit of, because a lot of times people have an idea of Victory Project, then they come and they see something completely different. Did you guys have an experience like that where you kind of walked in, you're like, see guys playing basketball, video games, but then you actually were a member and a recruit? Did your idea of Victory Project change?
Sort of. Like at the beginning, before I had even joined the Victory Project, my mom was coming home and telling me like all these stories and like how all the boys had like fun at Victory Project, and so that's sort of what brought me to VP.
But if you guys could fast forward a little bit to that recruit period, where once you start off your recruit for about 2 weeks, what's the most challenging part for a recruit coming in, do you guys think?
Getting used to chores by far. And for me, it was definitely kind of strange because you would rotate every day. You would either have around the house kitchen or something like black mats or something. Well, around the house kitchen or gym at the middle school campus, and it was for me at the beginning. I was so confused. I didn't know where anything was. It just took time to get used to say the least. And it just goes to show that like you don't have it all figured out, but if you just keep at something, you'll eventually figure it out. Going from there to where I am now.
And for me, the most challenging part for me was just like getting used to the rules. Like it would be things like language. I remember before I used to not like cuss, but I used to say how would I say it? Sort of inappropriate things, but not extremely inappropriate. It would just be things that like you just shouldn't be saying in general. And then I came to VP, and I sort of didn't really say anything like any really bad language because I kind of picked that up from all the members around me. Like I noticed that none of them like cuss, said anything bad, inappropriate. So I sort of just picked that up to not use that type of language.
Yeah, that's good. And how do you test out, for those that don't know? So you're a recruit for 2 weeks. How do you become a member officially? How do you test out?
By asking for them to give you a test and studying your basics, which are threes, mission statement, what your what your goals are at VP, pretty much. Just knowing VP's collective history, but more so what it's all about, the foundation of VP, really, the core values, if you will.
Yeah. And they test out after the 2 weeks with the program director. And if they pass, what are some of the things they get once you go from recruit to member? What are some of the things they get, or you guys got? Because you guys are part of it, right?
My favorite thing was obviously like the uniform. I love that. Like I could come into VP after I became a member and put this on every single day. And it was just really cool to be able to wear our logo like around the building, and for people, volunteers, to see me in this shirt and they'll know that like I'm a part of the Victory Project.
For me, I'm proud to say team building. Team building for sure. It gives me a chance to just overall just be around the people that I'm just with all the time. It's a way to build a brotherhood, really, really. It's it's not it's not like anything that's just like too just straightforward. You do all sorts of things. Go out places, have fun, just go outside to just hang out and eat food maybe. It's all about the experience you have with the people you're around and just understanding that you shouldn't take that for granted. So that taught me something.
Yeah, Tim's always there for team building early, right? We're like, yeah, we're going out to Golden Corral. He's the first one in line. But you guys talked a little bit about the challenges being in the new environment of Victory Project, because there's some rules and the chores. And hindsight's 2020. So if you look back now, what value or lesson did those teach you that you can apply to your life now just by simply changing certain behaviors?
I would have to say put your team first. It's easier to focus on being a leader that leads a team that respects you than a team that does whatever it wants to do And if you're able to stick up for your entire team and push through for your entire team, the days are way easier, at least in my opinion.
Like chores, I'll say before I hated doing chores at home. Like I seriously hated them. I used to try to play it off and act like I already did my chores, and then, you know, just be yeah, kind of sort of lying that I did it and stuff. But after I came to VP and I was doing chores every night after dinner, sort of taught me instead of looking at it as a chore, just look at it. You sort of made the mess, or you already did something that would
Contribute.
that would contribute to it. Like this is where VP in your home, that's like your home and your brotherhood. So take care of it.
That's good. That's good. Then we talked a little about the interview process, how to get involved, how do you become a recruit to a member. Now let's talk a little bit about being a member. When a young man wants to join a Victory Project, they sign a document called the membership agreement, which you guys I'm sure are very familiar with. What are some of these things that are on the membership agreement that stood out to you, and how does one maintain membership?
I want to say probably understanding like what the 3 E's are and understanding what they represent. With entrepreneurship, your ability to work is classified as a reward. So it's best to clarify it and make it that to yourself instead of just hearing that like work is the reward and you should work hard because someone told you to, but work hard because it's what you're supposed to do. It's the right thing to do. And it's something that sticks with you for a long time. And with enlightenment, it really goes to show that like how much internally you need to have an organization of things, a routine, a baseline, something to go off of in your daily life. And that kind of changed me too, because now I pray more often before I eat or just do something. Even when I'm snacking, that's just silent prayer. I do silent prayers now and just appreciate what I was given, and it puts into perspective how special people's lives really are, you know. And education, it strikes home since, you know, I wasn't the best student, but it helped to just put a baseline and just have an idea of where to go when you need help with, you know, work and stuff like that. And they give you chances and opportunities to do your work while you're at VP. So I appreciate that the most.
But for me, the main thing that I would say, like to stay a member, I would say AEC, attitude, effort, and consistency. Attitude is a really big thing. Can't come to VP mad at everyone or just in a very bad mood for some reason. And then for effort, just have like a good effort for everything that you do. So then when recruits see you doing something, they'll see you having like amazing effort at it, and then they'll have an amazing effort at it, and it'll just like really better everyone. Consistency, just stay consistent with coming to VP on a mandatory days, so Monday through Thursday, and try to stay consistent coming to work every Saturday, and stay consistent with a good attitude too, with a good attitude as well, because that'll help you in the long run.
Yeah, AEC is part of our basics. It's something we talk about from the very first conversation we have with new students, but it's so much more than VP. AEC will carry with you at your first job, if you go to college, everywhere past VP to be something that you can apply because it's 3 things that you can control in most situations. Always use an imagery that if you go to that class you hate with a terrible attitude, it'll reflect on your effort. And if you do that consistently, you will fail that class. But that class you hate, you say, hey, it's only 50 minutes. It's only a small speck of my day. You go in with a positive attitude. It'll reflect on your effort. 50 minutes feels like 5 minutes. It flies by. You do that consistently. Next thing you know, you're out of that class with an A or a B. So it's, again, we talk about it a lot at Victory Project, but it's so much further than that. And we see growth in it a lot of times. There's one student who I won't name, they may be on this episode, but when they first came, their grades weren't the best. So I was having meetings with parents and teachers because I was looking at these report cards that I was stressing out. I was like, oh my gosh, I almost got to go to class. But through effort, one of the hardest working young men I know. So today his report card is nothing like that. He's on honor roll. He was a team captain. He is on this podcast. And we have a little saying from the site leaders where if a guy has a good day, he had a Tim day, right? Because he just put his head down. He was working hard. He had a Tim day. It was a 4.5, and he just knocked it out of the park. So it just shows that you emphasize those things, you can really show growth. But speaking of it, if a guy has amazing AEC, he does great. He's upholding his membership agreement and does more. Can you guys talk about some of the opportunities that a student would have if they're excelling?
Oh, definitely. Scholarships is one. You also get more opportunities to be like ACL when you're working as well. And
I'm sorry to cut you off. You can explain what an ACL is.
Yeah. An ACL is essentially an assistant site leader assistant crew member, site leader, assistant crew leader. And their job is essentially to supervise their peers and to make sure that they're on task at all times. And with that comes a pay raise and more responsibility. But yeah, you're seen more as a prominent figure within VP, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and that's on Saturdays is the ACL. Throughout the week, what are some things that you guys get to do if you're excelling?
You can work towards being a team captain. Being a team captain is really setting an example for your whole entire team, and for also recruits too. If a recruit sees like a team captain, good, respectful, and calm team captain, they'll really want to work to being that because it's a pretty big step in VP. And
yeah, those are two huge ones. But even this podcast, right? Not every student has opportunity to be on this podcast because in order to be the podcast, you have to be doing what you're supposed to be doing at school, at work, at VP, and also there's a limit of 1, 6, 7 joke per episode. So Antonio, you're like pretty close on that line, but there's some expectations, right? When you accept a promotion that you're not only you hit it home, Tim, with more responsibility comes with that. And there's also some like more fun extracurriculars like the bike team, basketball team, where if a guy's doing amazing, of course, he can be a part of these extracurricular activities that we have at Victory Project. We encourage it because they're just knocking it out of the park. You mentioned scholarships. We do a quarterly scholarship that goes for the student that's worked the most and just knocked it out of the park for the quarter. Basically, they get a gas card for their family and a gift card for them as well. Another award and incentive to just continue showing good AEC and all aspects at work, at VP, and at school. You guys have been here a while, seeing other students. We talked a lot about what you guys struggled in, but have you seen other guys, maybe think of a story or some specific where a guy either struggled and overcame it, or they just were really struggling in a specific area?
Yeah, it's Lamont, No, I don't mean to call him out. He's my brother. I love him. He loves me. We cool. But even he knows, he had a real big issue with anger and dealing with it. And from the day I met him till now, he's shown like out of the park improvement. I honestly, he's like a completely different person when it comes to dealing with anger. And I respect that, honestly. It just, it makes me feel as though he's truly trying to better himself. That's commendable. And all I can say is deep respect that about him. He grinds hard. He works hard to do what he wants to do and tries to achieve what he wants. And I appreciate that. I see him.
And a guy that goes to VP, like his first week, I remember it was also a language thing with him. It was like that he couldn't stop cussing and stuff. And so like everyone, all the students at VP, we try to like tell him, try to like keep the cussing to a minimum, like try not to do it at all. And we told him that for like not even a full week. And then I remember he came back one day and it was like, he was sort of like a different person, sort of. And he wasn't really cussing at all. He was still his normal self, but you could tell like he was listening to what we said. and you could tell like he surprisingly just over a night he like matured a lot. So I'm very thankful for that happened.
Yeah, both amazing stories. And you guys both mentioned it throughout this episode of how you guys can be an example to the other students. Not only example of the rules at VP, like cussing and all that, but also examples of loving one another like Christ did through our Bible study and our praise and worship. This is the last Wednesday. We had a lot of guys, so it was pretty powerful. Guys I think you were in the front row, arm on somebody's shoulder, another guy's arm on your shoulder, just coming together singing. That's not normal. It's a beautiful thing, but most teenage boys are not doing that. So again, it's a powerful thing that's gonna stick with you far after VP. And I was gonna leave this till after the episode, but Antonio is on the process of trying to become a team captain. Tim, do you have any tips for Antonio on how he can secure the team captain spot?
Work hard, do what you're already doing, and just keep going. Honestly, it's best for you to just completely focus on bettering yourself. If you better yourself, people will understand that you're trying, and you'll see if you make an honest effort, everyone will eventually follow you and see that, and they'll want to better themselves as well. It's normally the best way to inspire people, by working your hardest and showing up for your team, and always putting your team first, no matter what.
Wise words of Tim. He makes it seem really easy, right?
Yeah.
But before we wrap up, I know we talked a lot about a lot of different things, a lot of you guys' personal experiences and your friends' experience and just your time at VP. But if you could leave the listeners with one thing from this episode, what would you want to stick with them?
Probably that VP and everything around you is what you make of it. So it's entirely up to you on whether or not you're going to make your day better or your surroundings better. It's all about taking the initiative to do so. So it's all about the inside, managing your pride and humbling yourself to always being able to understand other people and just having a wide open perspective of the world and not being closed-minded and just trying to accept how the world works differently from either what you have experienced or what you've seen.
And I would say, like, even if they don't join VP, they can still apply it out in the real world, like attitude, effort, and consistency. So I would say the main thing is attitude and effort, just with your job, your family, friends, and yourself. Put 100% to all of those, and just try your best when it comes to attitude, effort, and consistency.
Both really good. Man, there was a lot of wisdom, wise words that were shared. I'd probably go with, you're never too young to be a good example. You guys are both young men, but people are watching you guys, whether it be strangers, kids in your class, or people at VP. And you're never too young to be that good example and point people towards that right direction, right actions, and Christ. Never too young. Nobody's ever going to say you're not qualified to do that, doing the right thing. You don't need to be qualified to do that. But yeah, the listeners, I thank you for listening to the Victory Project podcast. If you're interested in getting involved, check out our website at victoryproject.org, or you can shoot me an email if you have any tips for Tim's to get better at video games, because he's really bad. But thanks for listening. God bless.
Thanks for listening to the Victory Project podcast. If you believe in changing lives through faith, discipline, and opportunity, then you're in the right place. Keep showing up. Keep being the light. Until next time, remember, victory isn't just a destination. It's a way of life. Learn more at victoryproject.org.